I want to go back to the phone lines, talk to Allan in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Hi, Allan.
Hi. My question is, I'm just not sure I'm hearing you right on the Genesis chapter 1 thing. I take it to be literal, and like I understand where God says on the first day he created light. That doesn't look good scientifically, but it's easier for me to just believe the Bible without necessarily tripping over science. And I know that you were talking about the speed of light, and that obviously if it takes 5 billion years for light to get from a star to here, then that's got to be how old the Earth is. And I just didn't know if I was understanding you right on that.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, let me say that I want to take the Bible literally, and that is precisely why I don't hold the young earth creationist viewpoint. The young earth creationist suggests that God employed non-solar light to govern the days until he created the sun, moon, and stars on day 4. But the biblical text quite literally says there was evening and there was morning, indicating that the first 3 days of creation were normal solar days encompassing daylight and darkness, which is to say that the days of Genesis are rendered literal solar days, not to establish a chronology of creation, but to remember the purposes of God in creation. As far as tripping over science, I think it's important to recognize that while secularists oftentimes want to say that science is their exclusive domain, that is not true. Science developed as a result of the Christian ethic, where Christians believed that we could learn to think God's thoughts after him, that we could see his imprimatur on the creation that he had made. And therefore, science developed in the context of Christian universities and Christians who believed that general revelation was something that we should spend real attention to, and that we should be good students of science just as we should be good students of Scripture, which is to say we should take serious special revelation just as we should take serious general revelation. And therefore...
But beginning of Moses talking about Genesis, everybody has understood the 6 days of creation. Even the Bible talks about, for God created the world in 6 days in more than one place. It's simply accepted.
Well, I think it's very, very important that you read the Bible in the sense in which it's intended, because if you do not, then you'll have God walking in the cool of the day with Adam and Eve and say God has big feet, or God saying to Adam and Eve, "Where are you?" and suddenly suggesting that God lost momentarily his omniscience. He didn't know everything at that point in time. So you have to read the Bible in the sense...
He does ask a question, and it does, I know, it shows that they're hiding because of their sin. You don't have to think that he doesn't know something.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to make. You grasp the point well. But let me go...
It's clear, though, that on the first day he created light, and he divided the light and the dark, and I have no idea what that looks like, but I just take it.
Okay, but I think you should take that literally, is my point. If you take the position that you seem to be taking, then you're not taking the Bible literally. The Bible suggests that these days are literal days. They're literal days because the Bible uses the words evening and morning, indicating that the first 3 days of creation before the sun and moon were created were normal solar days encompassing daylight and darkness. And the days of Genesis, as I said, are rendered literal solar days not to establish a chronology of creation, but to remember the purposes of God in creation. If you want to answer the question of time, well, then you have to be a good student of general revelation, just as you are a good student of special revelation. And let me say something further. You're absolutely right in suggesting that as a Christian, we are truly open-minded in that we allow for both supernatural explanations for that which we encounter in the universe. The universe itself is a supernatural explanation that demands an answer, and we who believe in the supernatural say that it is an effect that is caused by God, who's the first uncaused cause. So God caused the universe. The person who is merely a scientist would say nothing created everything, life came from non-life, and the life that came from non-life produced morals. But as a good student of general revelation, we need to recognize that God did not give us a purposeful deceit in the creation that he made, but we can think God's thoughts after him. That's why science works to begin with. And I think that there are many good things, just as you have alluded to, the speed of light. I mean, I think the reality that nothing travels faster than the speed of light and that billions of light years separate us from distant galaxies should lead logically to the assumption that the age of the universe is measured in billions rather than thousands of years. I think star life is a very persuasive argument for a universe measured in billions of years. But look, I'm not wedded to any particular age parameters. What I am wedded to is reading the Bible in the sense in which it's intended, and moreover, being a good student of general revelation as we're called to be as Christians as well. So both are very significant as we bear testimony and witness to an unbelieving world that we are those who are the messengers of truth. We do not use deceptive means in terms to communicate our worldview.